And Congressman, let me move on to tax reform, because obviously the tax writers in Washington, the House Ways and Means Committee, are beginning to mark up this tax bill. This 45.6% tax rate for incomes of between $1.2 and $1.6 million. Is this going to be marked up and fixed within committee, or what are you expecting in terms of the highest earners here? Obviously, we're looking at tax increases.
Well, I think, Maria, the proposal as a whole on the corporate side, I think, is very strong. I think that can be a positive game changer. On the individual side, it's much weaker. And I'm totally in favor of zeroing out a lot of these deductions and credits, simplifying and streamlining the code. But when you're doing that, I think you need to do across-the-board rate reductions. I think that's better for the economy. I think that's fair for taxpayers. And so that issue, I think, is going to be one that they're going to have to wrestle with in the committee. And I think that there has been some pushback from some folks who are traditional supporters of Republicans that, hey, you guys aren't really, walking the walk on the individual side. We want boldness there, too.
Yeah. Do you think the Senate package will be much different than the House package that we got last week? And the Senate package perhaps will be included maybe a phase-in of the corporate rate on 20% or higher taxes for individuals? Is that going to be much more aggressive in terms of raising revenue, the Senate side?
Well, I hope they don't try to go down that road. I think we got to focus on what's going to make our economy perform up to its optimal capacity, what's best for taxpayers, and not focus as much on trying to wring every last bit of revenue out of the American people. But I do think that the framework that was put out and then the text that was finally unveiled last week, this thing's a long way from the finish line. I think we're all committed to getting it done. I think we will get it done. But I do think there's going to be different shapes to it as it goes through both committees, as it goes to a conference committee. I just hope that, Republican Party believes in lower taxes across the board. Right. And I think that is something that we need to see reflected in this plan.
If you believe in it, then you should have done it in the bill, because you raise taxes on wealthier Americans. You make the code more progressive in this bill. And basically, you put the burden on paying taxes in this country on a smaller number of people. That's what's in that bill, Congressman.
Well, I would say we didn't necessarily do that, because the bill was written by, a handful of members and is going to be presented to the Ways and Means Committee. And so there's a lot I like about the bill, and I think that there's a lot of good things in it. But there are some issues there that I think are not going to be as conducive to igniting the 3.5% growth that we want to see. So that's going to be subject for debate in the Ways and Means Committee. It's going to be subject for debate in the Senate, and it'll be subject for debate when we get into a conference committee.
All right. We'll be watching to see if you guys abandon your principles of lower taxes, Congressman. Thank you so much, sir. We'll be watching the developments.
Thank you.
Congressman Ron DeSantis joining us there.